Some lights don't guide you, they break time. This is Lumen, a story of fractures, choices, and what refuses to disappear.
Episode 21. The Anchor Points. Interior, Eryon's room. Night. The room stayed half submerged in darkness, moonlight filtering through a poorly latched shutter. Eryon remained still, his hand still resting on the scarf Layla had given him. The voice drifted, as if held back by an invisible thread. Voice off. You're bending. You're clinging to them. That will serve me well. Eryon breathed in deeply. He felt the weight of the home, the promised presence of his new sisters, and he forced himself to hold on. He got up, walked to the window, and looked outside, the outline of the house cut against the sky pricked with stars. Interior library. Dawn. Kira leafed through the grimoire by candlelight, while Sacha examined sketches showing an old fountain at the center of the village. Lila prepared bandages and checked the sealed vials. Eryon came in looking worn. He spoke little, his movements measured. Kira, we found a recurring pattern. The relays are often anchored to common points. Stagnant water, places of exchange, marked stones. Sacha, the town square fountain. The elders used to talk about a well where people left promises. If the king feeds on attachments, that makes sense. Lila, if we cut that relay, we might weaken his voice. But someone would need to stay close to the point at the moment of the break. Eryon, I can get close to it. I feel him when he services. Kira, you'll guide us. We work as a team. Sacha and I handle the maneuver. Lila runs the distraction. You hold the barrier. If it goes wrong, we pull back. Sacha rested her hand on a dagger, as if weighing it. Lila met Eryon's gaze. In his eyes burned a quiet resolve. Exterior village. Morning. The village was waking up. Merchants setting up their stalls, children running between stands. The fountain stood at the center, surrounded by stones worn smooth by time. Kira, Sacha, Lila, and Eryon blended into the crowd, concealing their true purpose behind ordinary gestures. They moved closer to the fountain's edge without drawing suspicion. Kira whispering, "Stay calm. Listen to the texture of the sounds. If the voice tries to break through, say so." Eryon, I'll hear it. It goes muffled then sharp when it tries to push through stone. Sacha slipped a hand into her pocket and pulled out small vials. Lila settled near a bench and tossed some candy to a child. The ritual began with quiet gestures. Kira traced invisible runes. Sacha scattered the powder. Eryon closed his eyes and murmured small anchors under his breath. Exterior fountain. Day. The voice grew more insistent. Eryon felt a spike of pain, his fingers clenched. He pressed his palm against the stone. Voice off. You want to lose me? You think this bond is that fragile? Eryon nearly staggered. A wave of blurred memories tried to pull him under. Kira placed a steady hand on his shoulder. Kira, hold on. Remember us. Sacha spoke a formula. The powder caught fire, releasing a white smoke. The runes flickered with a dull glow. The pressure eased. Eryon found his footing again. Exterior town square, day. They had managed to fracture the relay, but the effort left its marks. The voice screamed. Cracks split the air. A crash rang out. The statue split apart, and shards fell around them. A dagger slipped from Sacha's grip. She lunged to catch it, and felt a sharp burn across her wrist. Sacha, I'm fine. A scratch. Keep going. Layla, Sacha, you need to fall back if it gets too dangerous. Bystanders were starting to notice the commotion. Eryon felt the voice pull harder. Ooh. He gagged and spat black bile. That evaporated before it hit the ground. Interior, alley, day. They pulled back into an alley. Sacha's wound was seeping lightly. Kira pulled out a cloth and pressed a poultice against it. Lila was shaking, but her voice stayed calm. Kira, we weakened the relay. We'll need more strikes. Eryon, I felt something shift beneath the stone. Sacha, then we find it. Lila, and if we don't find it right away? Eryon lowered his head. Something inside him was humming. He thought of the sealed potion, the cold chalice. Interior library, evening. They assessed what came next. Kira set the grimoire open on the table. Kira, every water source, every place of exchange, could hold a relic. Sacha, we divide the tasks. Lila, and the potion? Eryon placed his hand on the chalice. His voice trembled, but stayed clear. Eryon, if I decide it's the only safe way, I'll give my consent. But I want us to try everything else first. Kira, then we fight together. Sacha nodded. Lila placed her hand over Eryon's. The candle hissed, throwing a dancing shadow across the wall. Exterior forgotten cemetery, night. Night led them to the old cemetery. The gravestones stood in crooked rows like uneven teeth. Kira knelt and ran her fingers over the carved letters. Kira, here, an ancient pact. Sacha, we dig. They began scraping at the earth. Sacha's blade struck something metal. A damp breath rose from below. Eryon felt the voice choke. Voice off. You're taking my table. You'll regret this. Sacha lifted the box. They opened it. Inside lay fragments of an ancient bond. Lila held her breath. Interior library, night. They came back inside, the box in hand. Kira set the medallion on the table. Sacha wrapped her hand. Lila put on an infusion. Eryon stared at the medallion. He felt a sharp pang, then a quiet stillness. Voice off. You think you can contain me? Patience. I am patient. Eryon closed his eyes for a moment. Lila. Tomorrow we finish clearing the relays. Kira, we keep the chalice ready. Sacha, and if the voice starts singing again, we'll give it a different song. They laughed. A laugh that quickly sank into exhaustion. The candle faded. The library settled into a darkness that no longer felt like a threat,